Stop me if this gets complicated, okay? In Scandinavian folklore, there exists the great legend of the Hall of Warriors, located in the ancient realm of Asgard, where great warriors, the chosen dead taken by the Valkyries, will one day fight side by side with Odin during the time of Ragnarok. It is known as Valhalla. Perhaps you, being a keyboard warrior yourself, may one day grace these hallowed halls of the slain, and as your eyes wander over the various warriors assembled by the fire, each one reciting their tales of great battles and heroic last stands, your eyes may turn to a shadowy figure in the background, and it may take you some time to realize that this hulking mass that you're looking at is not a man, but an 1,800-ton British destroyer, an N-class to be exact. But this destroyer is not British. This one flies the flag of Poland. Its crew gaze down at you with a 1,000-yard stare. They raise their drinks in honored salute, and in unison recount the tale, the legend of the Piorun, the Thunderbolt. Our story begins not with the Piorun, but with another ship entirely, the Bismarck, Germany's answer to the growing threats of the French and British navies. Bismarck was a testament to Hitler's refusal to acknowledge the Washington Naval Treaty, as well as some other treaties which we don't have time to get into, which limited the size of battleships to about 30,000 tons. And at 50,000 tons, this gigantic warship was one of the largest battleships afloat at the time, and still holds the record as being one of the largest warships ever built. She was designed for speed, her guns for accuracy, and maybe her actual capabilities have been somewhat overstated by the culture of romanticism that surrounds this time period, but she was still a formidable opponent. Massive 15-inch cannons and a further 12 smaller 5.9-inch guns, she posed a tough adversary, destroying the fearsome battlecruiser Hood in a mere 4-minute-long engagement, granted with a lucky shot. Any captain going against her would have had this in the back of their mind, and during the hunt for the Bismarck as she attempted to escape back to friendly waters, though wounded and leaking fuel, smaller ships were advised to simply shadow her until the big guns arrived, and anyone who would be willing to face her with inferior firepower would have been mad. By comparison, the N-class was a rather humble destroyer. At 1,800 tons, she was built to correct the mistakes of the previous tribal class of destroyers, which had favored guns over torpedoes, and as a result, she only had 3 turrets of twin 4.7-inch guns, a single 4-inch anti-air gun, 4 20mm, and 2 machine guns, with about enough armor to just about stop a highly aggressive tuna. Piorun started life as HMS Nerissa, laid down in Scotland on the River Clyde. After the fall of Poland, she was transferred to the Free Polish Navy before she was even completed, given a Polish crew, a Polish captain whose name I'm not even going to attempt, and a new name, Piorun, the Lightning, or the Thunderbolt. Sources differ. The name Piorun could equally mean lightning as it could mean thunderbolt. I've got 2 sources that say thunderbolt and 2 sources that say lightning. Piorun is Polish for lightning, and thunderbolt is Piorun, I think. I don't know Polish outside of kurwa, so your guess is as good as mine, unless you're actually Polish, and you know the language fairly well being Polish. If you do, let me know how stupid I'm being, and I'll apologize in the comments. And I will probably be buried under all the people screaming, "We want an F-111 video! You promised an F-111 advert video, where is it?" You know what, if this video gets a bajillion likes, I'll do it, okay? Anyway, now normally in British naval tradition it is considered quite unlucky to rename a ship after she has been laid down, but for the Piorun, luck would never be in short supply. Based on the River Clyde until she was finally completed in November of 1940. Here she would serve in the Battle of Britain, escorting convoys of smaller ships around the coast. But when she was damaged in an air attack, she was forced to return to the Clyde for repairs, but found that her docks in the nearby town were coming under nightly bombardment by patrol bombers. So the Piorun, being the Piorun, in spite of being heavily damaged and still under repairs, steamed up and down the Clyde, blanketing the skies with a dense layer of flak, risking hits from bombers every second she broke cover. Her heroics earned her the admiration of the locals, and a memorial to her stands to this day in the town of Clydebank, where I've never been, because it's a hole. And you think that would be it, the brave little destroyer facing off against the might of the Luftwaffe, defending a Scottish town against waves of bombers. But no, sir. Piorun wasn't done. She was hungry for revenge. She wanted blood. She wanted to make her mark against the Germans and remind them that Poland was down, but not out. And in May of 1941, she would get that chance. In the aftermath of the Battle of the Denmark Strait, with the Hood having been sunk by the Bismarck,
it's a great moment for the German Navy.
Yes, Lindemann. And for the two of us.
and the Prince of Wales heavily damaged, Britain was devastated. Its national pride had been hurt, and it demanded vengeance. British Prime Minister Winston Churchill would send out an order down the chain of command to every battleship, destroyer, cruiser, submarine, and fishing boat with a rifle duct taped to the front that would countermand all other orders. Find that bloody ship and sink it! At the time, Piorun was on escort duty with 4 other destroyers, heading for the Indian Ocean. 3 days in, and the order came through, and they were detached from the convoy to join the hunt. Now, the Bismarck might have been a very, very large ship, but in comparison to the entirety of the North Sea, it was, well, let me put it like this. Finding the Bismarck in something the size of the ocean was like trying to find a single drop of coffee in an entire swimming pool filled with fish. They're just flapping all over the place, and you need your caffeine fix, but where the hell has your boyfriend hidden that cup, and what kind of prank even is this? Anyway, Bismarck. By now she had 4 battleships, 2 battlecruisers, 2 aircraft carriers, 13 cruisers, and 21 destroyers, along with a mix of numerous aircraft and a cruise ship out hunting for her, in an area of ocean over 220,000 square miles in size. To put that in perspective, if you were to take all that ocean and convert it into farmland, you could grow enough turnips to create your own turnip moon. That's how big we're talking here. However, because this battle is largely told from the British perspective, much emphasis is placed on the actions of Force H. Force H was flagged by the battlecruiser Renown, Hood's sister ship. The crew were anxious to avenge